Wah! Yes, we are doing Zeal Ardor or Lemon Peel and Mordor fucking Stranger Fruit boys, yeah! Now, Zeal Ardor are more than just bywords for enthusiasm. They're a band involving 5 members, led by Manuel Gagnon, a Swiss-American musician who previously had his roots in Birdmask Boys. But this is a departure from his chamber pop project, it's fair to say, being a, well, you know, blackened soul metal album. But yeah, he's the brainchild of this band, providing the conceptual and artistic basis as well as the vocals and guitar work, with the former being eclectic and a source of fascination throughout this record. Of course, it needs to be said from the get-go, this band's sound is more bipolar than, I don't know, the two poles, with opposing genres blended in as though, well, you know, in a fucking blender. It's fresh, it's invigorating, and a more explorative experience than Anal for your first time, with clear nods to Tom Waits, vocally and even Deftones instrumentally, whilst occasionally showcasing the Deaf Heaven and Darkthrone and Burzum influences in the glistening, deafening tremolos, screamed vocals, and blast beat passages. Not to mention the straight up blues and soul in some of his other vocal performances, which feel almost like an upgraded Trophy Scars. But obviously there is more at play here than just sheer emulations of soul and black metal. The palette is so rich and sprawling that it defies description, with even some organs, some pianos, female backup vocals, synth leads, and fucking everything. The meshing of these multivariate influences on this record is effortless and executed with a rarefied sense of professionalism as well. I mean, everything from the Oh Brother instrumental on the self-titled track to the cross-section of gospel, post-rock blast beats, and alternative rock on the closer Built on Ashes. And don't you down me now. And yeah, speaking of foreshadowing, the intro track, decidedly titled Intro, does just that, with this burbling guitar matched to bluesy humming with a man chopping at a tree, fucking decidedly off time as well, boys. And then there are other moments on this record where the band is clearly taking the piss and fucking around, with Gagnon even admitting that the project started out as a bit of a joke. This is no more apparent than the 2 electronic interludes Solve and The Floor, which basically perform the same function as a circus interlude on Tool's Ainama. I mean, not gonna lie, this made me lose my shit laughing listening to this for the first time, and I was not surprised in reading later that this was very much intended to be hilarious, leading black metal into the most casual of bleep-de-bloops. Bloop, bleep, bleep, bloop, bleep, bleep, bloop. And yeah, the Latin choir intervals on songs like Ship on Fire, and more especially Coagula, well, you know, they're quite ridiculous and memey in their own way, fucking, even though they're superbly woven in and so much texturally is added here. I mean, I fucking love them to bits despite the hilarity of it all, which just goes to show again Gagnon's talent in arranging, not to mention it gave me some Roman African-American crossbreed fucking trireme vibes, I don't even fucking know. Now, the structuring of this record lends itself to the typified verse-chorus-verse format in each song, something which is very unique given the bedrock from which the black metal instrumentals are based off of. These shortened runtimes do detract from the experience on a few songs here, where they feel like they build into nothing, with an occasional lack of progression or extra verse or climactic build. Despite the ever-present perfectionism in texturing and arrangement, it does make a couple songs here feel a little rough in composition. Nonetheless, these are very minor criticisms in the grand scheme of this record, given just how visceral and fun and spellbinding it is. Not to mention fucking creative. I mean, to pair these genres like this as though hoses to taps is just fucking worthy of attention and praise and fucking yes, boys. Because man, there are so many shoegazy, black metal, post-rock tribute acts making essentially the same climaxes, and here in some ways the tremolo passages are just as generic as those bands, but because the souls and blues add so much as a contrasting element, it makes them feel all the more fresh and invigorating, and most of all necessary. No more so because they are underused. I mean, they could have gone balls to the wall predictable by giving every song here a climax like on Servants, but thankfully those instrumentals wait by their time and are consistently used in the most effective way possible. I've seen some clowns even completely miss the point and talk shit about the simplicity in arrangement or genericisms or the gimmicky nature weaker in the instrumentals, but man, they're fucking disarmingly good every time for just how well they are woven in. And again, there is perfectionism and attention to detail bleeding throughout. I mean, take the self-titled track and how those woos, which are foreshadowed on the prior track, waste, or how the pianos start off crisp and natural and then by the end are racked with the most crippling of distortion. And not to sound like a broken record, but it must be reinstated, the transitioning here is also impeccable and effortless at every instance. The smoothness is never lost but for those abrupt, seemingly ironic electronic interludes. It's just so consistent as well, with the midpoint of this record flowing from one strength to another. The duality of Row Row and Ship on Fire feel particularly conceptually tight here. But seriously, Duderoos, the vocals just add so much visceral and punchy energy, with the grainy filter put over the top adding so much grit and weight to a delivery and inflection already powerful and emotional, boys. Sometimes it can come across as a little affected or put on, and that's because it kind of is, but nonetheless every song does contain really powerful refrains and insanely evocative performances. None more so than You Ain't Coming Back or Servants or Don't You Dare or Brave Diggers Chant or Row Row. I mean, fucking every song basically. It's like he's the leader of a pack that won't stop getting lynched, and he's just there as a Spartacus leading them down fruitless journeys to survive the people that want to burn them alive. Servants, join us! Watch yourself! Don't you dare look away, boy! Nah, 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 nah. Don't you dare look away, boy! Nah, 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 nah. You gotta let go, let go, let go! Don't you come looking for ass! I just fucking love the vocals. I just fucking love them, and this is coming from someone who has an intense indifference towards trophy scars, so yeah, dunno, this guy's a bit of a genius, and this record is a bit of a barn-burning fucking classic. And yeah, the bassist, Mia Diu, I mean, she's a fucking proper good egg as well. Some really good bass lines underbelly the shit throughout. The only other critique I can really dish out is the black metal passages sounding a little muffled, and maybe even intentionally so. This being produced by Kurt Ballou, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, intentionally, I think, and it still sounds hot, no debate, and I even enjoy that aesthetic. And yeah, so this is just a 4.6 for me, boys. I just love it this much. Just listen to it. Just fucking listen to it. I mean, even if you think you don't like black metal, I don't fucking give a shit. This is soul metal, boys! And you should just fucking listen to it. It's really that simple. It is that fucking simple. So, hope you enjoyed my review, or whatever the fuck. Just have a good one, really. And I do appreciate new subscribers and likes and feedback and all that good shit. So, thank you. And I'll just catch you in the next one, alright? Whoa!